Most people don't lose their energy in one dramatic event. They lose it in small, invisible leaks every single day. A short conversation that leaves you tense. A subtle comment that makes you doubt yourself. A commitment you never wanted to accept. And before you realize it, you're exhausted. Not because you worked too hard, but because you gave too much to the wrong people. Your energy is your most valuable resource. It fuels your focus. It shapes your decisions. It strengthens your confidence. If you protect it, you move through life with clarity and momentum. If you don't, you will constantly feel drained, distracted, and disconnected from yourself. Stephen Covey emphasized a principle that fits perfectly here. Your ability to lead your life depends on your ability to protect your inner resources. And at the heart of those resources is your energy. Lose it, and you lose the very foundation of your clarity, productivity, and peace of mind. Here's the danger. The people who drain you will rarely look like a threat. They're not all aggressive or obviously toxic. Sometimes they're friendly. Sometimes they mean well. But the effect is the same. You walk away from them with less energy than you had before. And if you don't become aware of it, this becomes your normal state. You start thinking fatigue is just part of life, when in reality it's the cost of living without boundaries. The truth is, most of us were never taught how to protect our energy. We were taught to be agreeable, to avoid conflict, to keep saying yes even when we want to say no. We were told that protecting our time and space is selfish, when in fact, it's one of the most responsible things you can do for yourself and for the people who truly matter. Because when your energy is gone, you have nothing real left to give. Your focus becomes scattered. Your patience runs thin. You start operating in survival mode, just trying to make it through the day. And survival mode is not where your best decisions are made. This is why protecting your energy is not optional. It's a skill you must master if you want to live at your full capacity. It's not about shutting people out or living in isolation. It's about creating filters, clear rules that determine who and what gets access to you. It's about deciding that your peace, your focus, and your drive are not up for negotiation. Think about it. If you guard your money carefully, if you're selective about how you spend it, why wouldn't you do the same with your energy? You can earn money back, but the hours, focus, and vitality you give away to the wrong situations, you never get those back. Once I started looking at energy like currency, everything changed. I began to recognize who was costing me more than I could afford. I became more intentional about where I invested my attention. And most importantly, I learned how to renew my energy daily so I wasn't constantly running on fumes. The result was obvious. My clarity came back. My work felt lighter. I started making faster, cleaner decisions. I had space for the things and people that truly mattered, and I no longer felt guilty about saying no to the rest. And that's exactly what I want to help you build. Not just the awareness of what's draining you, but the tools to stop it and to stay strong even when you can't completely avoid difficult people or situations. In the next steps, we're going to walk through 7 principles that will allow you to guard your energy like it's your most valuable asset, because it is. You'll learn how to recognize hidden drains before they exhaust you. You'll see how to set and hold boundaries without guilt. You'll understand how to renew yourself daily so you can show up at your best no matter what's happening around you. And when you start living this way, something powerful happens. The world no longer decides how you feel. You do. You stop being reactive. You stop being pulled into every drama or distraction. You begin to operate from a place of stability that no one can shake. So stay with me, because once you understand how to protect your energy from anyone, anywhere, your entire life begins to shift, and you'll never go back to the way things were. Most people think they lose their motivation because they're undisciplined. They think they lose their focus because they're distracted. But in reality, they're losing something far more important: their personal energy. Energy is the foundation for everything you do. It fuels your ability to think clearly, to take action, to lead yourself through challenges. And when it's gone, nothing else works. You can have all the knowledge, all the strategies, all the ambition, but without energy, it's like trying to drive a car on an empty tank. The problem is, most of us don't realize how much of our energy we give away for free. We think we're just being polite when we listen to someone complain for the 5th time this week about the same problem they never solve. We think we're just being responsible when we say yes to yet another request that eats away our time and focus. We think we're just being a good person when we let people dump their negativity on us day after day. But here's the reality. Every yes you give without thinking, every conversation you entertain that you didn't want to have, every situation you tolerate that drains you, it's all costing you energy. And unlike money, you can't just go out and earn it back at will. Once today's energy is spent, it's gone. The scary part is how easy it is to normalize this. You tell yourself it's just part of life, that work is stressful, that relationships are complicated, that people are demanding. But the truth is, you've been trained, often since childhood, to hand out your energy without question. And by the time you notice the drain, it feels too late to change. Covey often spoke about the importance of protecting your circle of influence, the space where your thoughts, your decisions, and your actions live. Your energy is the heartbeat of that circle. If you don't guard it, your influence over your own life weakens. And when that happens, you stop leading your life and start reacting to it. I remember seeing this in leaders, in business owners, in parents, people who were capable, intelligent, and driven. But they were running on fumes because they gave their best hours, their clearest focus, their sharpest attention to situations and people that didn't deserve it. They weren't lazy. They weren't unmotivated. They were simply drained. And here's the dangerous cycle. When you're drained, you make worse decisions. When you make worse decisions, you create more problems. When you create more problems, you burn more energy trying to solve them. It's a loop that quietly erodes your confidence and your clarity. This is why understanding the real source of your exhaustion is so important. Because as long as you think the problem is just being busy or not having enough time, you'll keep trying to solve it with more productivity tools, more to-do lists, more late nights. But the solution isn't doing more. It's protecting what you already have. Think about the people in your life right now. Some of them give you energy. They challenge you in a good way. They help you see new perspectives. They leave you feeling motivated after talking to them. Others drain you. They demand attention without bringing value. They fill conversations with complaints and drama. They question your decisions without offering solutions. The mistake is thinking you can treat both types the same. You can't. If you give equal access to people who drain you and people who energize you, guess which one will have the greater impact? Negativity and drama spread faster than clarity and focus. And it's not just people. It's environments. It's commitments. It's habits. Scrolling endlessly on your phone before bed. Starting your day reacting to messages instead of directing it with intention. Saying yes to events you didn't want to attend. All of these are slow leaks in your energy tank. This is why the first step to protecting your energy is awareness. You can't guard what you don't even realize you're giving away. You have to start noticing where, when, and to whom your energy is going. And you have to be brutally honest about whether those exchanges are worth it. That doesn't mean you cut everyone off. It means you start making strategic choices. If someone drains you, but you can't avoid them completely, you limit the access they have to your attention and time. If an environment is chaotic, you create systems and routines that keep you grounded while you're in it. If a habit leaves you feeling mentally heavy, you replace it with one that builds you up instead of breaking you down. The reality is simple. Protecting your energy is about reclaiming control. It's about deciding that you won't live at the mercy of other people's moods, demands, or chaos. It's about realizing that every moment you spend in the wrong place, with the wrong focus, is a moment you can't invest in building the life you want. And when you shift into that mindset, everything changes. You start to feel lighter, more focused, more in control. You stop moving through life reacting to whatever comes your way and start creating your own flow. That's the mindset we're going to keep building in the next step. Because once you see the problem clearly, the question becomes, how do you start building the mental filter that keeps the wrong things out and the right things in? That filter is your first line of defense. And it's exactly what we're going to talk about next. You don't protect your energy by accident. No one wakes up and just happens to stay centered all day. If you don't make a deliberate choice, the world will make it for you, and it will choose in favor of distraction, noise, and depletion. Think about it. Your phone is buzzing before you've even had breakfast. Someone's already asking for your time, your opinion, your help. Before you've fully started your day, you're already giving pieces of yourself away. Not because you want to, but because you haven't yet decided how today's energy will be spent. The shift happens when you stop thinking of your energy as something you respond with and start treating it as something you allocate. Like a budget. You wouldn't hand out money to anyone who asked without checking your balance first. You'd know exactly how much you had, what it was for, and who or what deserved it. Your energy works the same way, but most people never create the budget. Here's the perspective change. You are the gatekeeper. Every conversation, every environment, every demand must pass through you before it reaches your attention. If it doesn't deserve you, it doesn't get you. That's not cruelty. That's clarity. Covey often spoke about living with intention, about making proactive choices instead of drifting through life on autopilot. Protecting your energy is the most practical form of that philosophy. It's the moment you say, I'm not just going to see what today takes from me. I'm going to decide what I'm willing to give. And here's what changes when you make that shift. You stop feeling guilty for saying no. You stop letting urgency replace importance. You stop entering conversations or commitments without asking, is this worth my focus right now? Most people don't do this because they're afraid of what others will think. They believe setting limits will make them seem cold, selfish, or unhelpful. But the truth is, boundaries don't push away the right people. They repel the wrong ones. Anyone who benefits from your lack of boundaries will resist them. And that resistance is the clearest sign you needed the boundary in the first place. The second part of this perspective shift is understanding that energy isn't just taken from you. It's also leaked by you. You might be draining yourself with your own habits, replaying negative conversations in your head, overthinking decisions you've already made, trying to control things you can't possibly control. These are internal drains, and they can exhaust you even faster than external ones. If you want to protect your energy from anyone, you have to start with yourself. Ask, am I feeding thoughts that strengthen me or ones that weaken me? Am I spending more time reacting to life than creating it? Am I carrying weight that isn't mine to carry? When you start answering honestly, you begin to see where your energy is actually going. And that awareness changes your decisions. Here's an exercise I give to people I work with. For the next 72 hours, track every interaction, task, and thought that noticeably changes your energy level, for better or worse. Write it down. At the end of those 3 days, you'll see patterns you couldn't see before. You'll know who leaves you energized and who leaves you feeling drained. You'll notice which habits lift you and which ones quietly steal your focus. Once you have that map, protecting your energy becomes a strategic choice, not a vague hope. You stop reacting emotionally and start acting intentionally. This is where the real transformation begins. Because when you see your energy as a resource you control, you stop waiting for the world to respect it. You start teaching the world how to treat it. Through your boundaries, through your choices, through the example you set every single day. And something powerful happens when you do this consistently. You begin to reclaim not just your focus, but your authority over your own life. People feel the difference in you. They approach you differently. The ones who respect you will respect your boundaries. The ones who only took from you will drift away. But here's the truth. This shift won't happen just because you've realized you need it. It will happen because you enforce it again and again until it becomes your default way of living. That's what we're building here. In the next step, we'll go deeper. Because it's not enough to just filter who and what gets your attention. You also need to actively build the strength to withstand the demands you can't completely avoid. That's how you make your energy protection unshakable, no matter who's in the room. Once you understand that you are the gatekeeper of your own energy, the next move is to build your first line of defense. Because awareness alone isn't enough. You need a practical, non-negotiable system for protecting yourself every single day. And here's the principle. Decide your emotional state before the world decides it for you. Most people wake up and go straight into reaction mode. They check their phone. They read messages, news, notifications. They let someone else's urgency set the tone for their day. And without realizing it, they've already surrendered control. It's like handing your steering wheel to a stranger before you've even left the driveway. Protecting your energy starts with reclaiming that steering wheel. You have to choose your state before the day can choose it for you. And that choice isn't just mental. It's physical, emotional, and environmental. Here's how I do it, and how you can too. First, create a starting ritual. It doesn't need to be long or complicated. It just needs to lock you into your own priorities before you touch anyone else's. It could be 10 minutes of silence, setting intentions for the day. It could be reviewing your 3 most important tasks and committing to them before anything else. It could be a short workout to wake your body and sharpen your mind. The point is to start in your own lane, not in someone else's traffic. Second, set an emotional baseline. Before you interact with anyone, decide how you want to feel today. Focused, calm, determined, present. Visualize it. Feel it in your body. And carry it into your first interactions. When you know your baseline, it's easier to notice when someone is pulling you away from it, and easier to bring yourself back. Third, enforce micro-boundaries. People often think of boundaries as big, formal conversations. But the most powerful boundaries are the small ones you enforce moment to moment. Not answering every message immediately. Choosing not to engage in gossip. Redirecting conversations that are heading into negative territory. These aren't dramatic actions, but they add up to massive protection over time. And here's where the discipline comes in. You have to treat these small boundaries as seriously as you would treat a locked front door. If you wouldn't let a stranger walk into your house uninvited, don't let unwanted energy walk into your day unchecked. I've watched people completely turn their lives around by mastering this one principle. They stopped waiting for the right environment to feel in control. They created the environment from the inside out. And as their inner state stabilized, their outer world started shifting to match it. Now, let's be real. There will be days when something breaks through. An interaction throws you off. An event rattles you. It happens. But the difference between someone who protects their energy and someone who doesn't is recovery speed. When you've set your state intentionally, you can feel the shift immediately and take action to reset. Without that foundation, you might lose the entire day or even the entire week to someone else's chaos. This principle also has a side effect most people don't expect. It changes how others treat you. When you consistently hold your state, people stop testing it as often. They feel that you're not easily swayed, that you're not available for every emotional tug of war. And they adjust their approach, or they stop approaching altogether. That's the quiet power of protecting your energy. It's not about building walls around yourself. It's about building strength within yourself so the walls aren't even necessary most of the time. If you've been feeling scattered, depleted, or like you're constantly catching up with your own life, I want you to try this for the next 7 days. Before you check your phone, before you answer a single request, decide your state. Claim it. Step into it. And see how much less of your energy leaks away without a fight. You might be surprised at how quickly the chaos around you feels less powerful, and how quickly you start feeling more in control, not because the world changed, but because you did. Now I want to hear from you. What's the biggest daily drain on your energy that you're ready to stop tolerating? Drop it in the comments. The simple act of naming it is the first step toward shutting it down for good. You might be surprised at how quickly the chaos around you starts to lose its power, and how naturally you begin to regain control. It's not that the world becomes quieter. It's that you stop letting every noise demand your attention. And once you realize you can hold that state even when the day tests you, it changes the way you move through everything else. Picture this. You move through your day without feeling pulled in 10 different directions. You're focused, clear-minded, unaffected by the noise around you. You're not checking for distractions. You're not bracing for interruptions. You simply stay in your lane, moving forward with purpose. And you don't have to think about how you're doing it, you just are. That's not luck. That's the power of practice. When you've trained yourself to protect your energy day after day, it stops feeling like a conscious effort and starts becoming part of your identity. This is the real turning point. Because until now, protecting your energy has required deliberate action. You've had to be aware of the leaks. You've had to choose your state each morning. You've had to redirect your attention when it started drifting. But over time, something changes. What once took effort becomes second nature. You begin to operate from a place where your focus holds naturally, even in environments that used to derail you. That's when you know you've shifted from practicing to living energy protection. And the key to reaching that point is simple: repetition with intention. The more often you live in alignment with your priorities, the less room there is for outside forces to dictate your state. It's not about perfection, it's about consistency. Small, repeated actions build the mental and emotional reflexes that keep you steady. This is where transformation stops being about avoiding what drains you and starts being about reinforcing what strengthens you. It's not just defense anymore. It's building the kind of inner stability that doesn't need defending as often. The real challenge isn't reaching stability, it's keeping it. Many people work hard to find their rhythm, to feel lighter, clearer, and more in control, only to watch it slowly fade without understanding why. It doesn't happen overnight. It happens in small, quiet slips. You start allowing the little habits you worked so hard to break to creep back in. You say yes to one more thing you didn't plan for. You skip the practices that keep you sharp just for a day or two. And before you realize it, the old version of your life is knocking at your door. That's why protecting your energy isn't just about building it. It's about reinforcing it so it holds under pressure. The moment you stop strengthening it, you open the door for the leaks to return. And when they do, they're harder to detect because you think you've moved past the problem. Think of it like fitness. You can train for months to get into great shape, but if you stop moving entirely, you won't keep the same results. Your body adapts to the level of maintenance you give it, and so does your energy. To keep it strong, you need layers of defense. The first is catching early warning signs. Your energy rarely collapses without notice. There's always a shift you can feel if you're paying attention. Maybe you're more impatient than usual. Maybe you lose focus more easily. Maybe you start dreading certain parts of your day that didn't bother you before. The sooner you notice these shifts, the sooner you can correct them. The second layer is your reset system. When you feel your energy dip, you need fast, reliable ways to recharge before it spirals. It could be stepping away from your desk, breathing deeply for a few minutes, changing your physical position, or moving to a different environment. These resets don't need to be long. They just need to interrupt the drain and give you a chance to recover. The third layer is deciding ahead of time how you'll handle situations that typically weaken you. If you wait until you're in the middle of them to figure it out, emotion will almost always take the lead. Pre-decide how you'll respond, so the choice is made before the moment comes. That way, you're not leaving your stability to chance. And finally, you need renewal built into your routine, not just as a reaction to fatigue, but as a proactive source of strength. That means prioritizing the people, activities, and environments that recharge you. Physical renewal through movement, rest, and nutrition. Mental renewal through learning, problem-solving, and creativity. Emotional renewal through connection, meaning, and joy. The people who maintain strong energy over time aren't just good at avoiding drains. They're excellent at constantly topping up their reserves. They don't wait for a crisis to reinforce themselves. They live in a way that makes them ready for whatever comes. If you want to avoid sliding backward, you can't think of energy protection as something you do when you're struggling. It has to be the standard you live by, even when you feel at your best. Because the truth is, it's during the good times that most people let their guard down. And that's when the slow leak begins. Over time, this ongoing reinforcement becomes almost invisible. It's simply how you operate. You recognize small dips before they turn into deep drains. You recover quickly, and you maintain the kind of inner steadiness that allows you to show up fully, no matter what the day brings. And here's where things start to get interesting. Once your energy becomes this consistent, it doesn't just serve you anymore. It starts influencing the people and situations around you in ways you might not expect. People notice when you're solid. They may not be able to name it, but they feel it. It's in the way you move, the way you speak, the way you respond under pressure. You don't flinch at every challenge. You don't rush to match the chaos in the room. And that steadiness changes the atmosphere around you. When your energy is stable and protected, it doesn't just keep you grounded. It becomes a force that influences the environment you're in. You've probably experienced the opposite. Walking into a room where tension is high, and within minutes you feel the weight of it. But the reverse is also true. When you carry a steady, centered energy, people feel calmer around you. Conversations shift. The tone changes. And without saying a word, you've raised the standard for how others show up. This is one of the most overlooked benefits of protecting your energy. It starts working for you beyond your own inner world. Opportunities open more easily when people trust your presence. Collaboration flows better when you're not adding to the noise. Leadership becomes natural because others feel anchored when you're there. It's not about being the loudest or the most charismatic. It's about being unshakable. In a world where everyone is quick to react, the one who responds with clarity stands out, and people gravitate toward that. But here's the important part. You're not doing this for validation. This isn't about performing calmness so others approve of you. It's about holding your own frequency so strongly that it naturally influences the space you occupy. You're leading by example, even if you never intended to. And the influence doesn't stop at perception. When your energy is well protected, you make cleaner decisions. You're less likely to agree to things that don't align with you. You're more present in conversations because your mind isn't scattered. And that presence communicates something powerful. This person is clear, focused, and in control of themselves. People respond to that clarity. They give you more trust, more space, and often more opportunity because they sense that you won't waste it. This kind of influence also protects you. When you set the tone in a room, you reduce the chances of being pulled into unnecessary drama. People think twice before unloading their chaos on you when they know you won't engage with it. It's not that you shut people out. It's that your presence signals you're operating on a different level. Over time, you'll notice something interesting. Your energy starts attracting the right people and repelling the wrong ones. Those who thrive on negativity won't find a comfortable place around you, and they'll naturally drift away. Those who value focus, growth, and mutual respect will seek you out. This isn't luck, it's the result of living in alignment and refusing to compromise your stability. And it's not just about people. Opportunities themselves are drawn to steady energy. When you're consistent, reliable, and clear, you naturally put yourself in the path of situations that match that. The random chaos that used to drain you appears less often because your habits, your choices, and even your reputation filter it out before it reaches you. At this point, protecting your energy stops feeling like a shield you have to hold up all the time. It becomes the air you breathe, the environment you carry with you. You're no longer managing constant defense. You're creating conditions where defense isn't as necessary. That's the shift from protection to influence. You're not just avoiding the things that weaken you. You're actively shaping what surrounds you. And that's a powerful position to live from. But here's the thing. Influence is a responsibility. The moment you realize you have it, you can use it to build or to break. You can be the calm that steadies the room or the spark that triggers the fire. Holding strong energy means holding the discipline to use it well. That discipline will carry you into the final stage of this journey, where protection, stability, and influence all come together into a way of living that's both grounded and expansive. A way of living where your energy isn't just safe, it's the driving force behind everything you do next. When you've reached the point where your energy is protected, stable, and influential, you're playing a different game than most people. You're no longer waking up wondering how much you can endure today. You're waking up deciding what you will create. This is the final stage. Your energy isn't just something you guard. It's something you use with precision and purpose. It's no longer about avoiding what drains you. It's about investing yourself fully in what matters, knowing you have the strength to sustain it. Everything changes here. Your relationships feel lighter because you're not carrying more than your share. Your work becomes more effective because you're directing your attention instead of scattering it. Your personal life becomes richer because you have space, real space, for what fulfills you. And none of it is an accident. It's the result of deliberate choices you've made along the way. You decided to become aware of where your energy was leaking. You shifted your perspective so you could control the flow instead of being controlled by it. You put principles into practice until they became habits. You built reinforcement to keep yourself strong. You allowed your presence to become a source of influence. Now, the question isn't if you can protect your energy, it's what you'll do with it. This is where your true capacity reveals itself. When you're no longer drained by constant repair work, you have more to give to the things that matter most. You can take on bigger goals without fear of burnout. You can navigate challenges without losing yourself. You can create a life where you're leading from a place of strength instead of survival. It's important to remember, this isn't a finish line. It's a standard you choose to maintain. Because no matter how strong you get, there will always be something or someone that tries to pull you off course. The difference now is that you're ready. You have the tools, you have the awareness, and you have the discipline to act before the damage is done. When you live this way, you stop negotiating with your old self. You're no longer tempted to slip back into overcommitment, overexposure, or overreaction. You've built something too valuable to risk, a clear, steady, powerful energy that makes everything in your life work better. And here's the best part, you can feel the difference. It's in your body, in your thoughts, in the way you breathe when you wake up. That lightness you thought was gone for good, it's back, and it's yours to keep as long as you keep choosing it. So take this with you. Your energy is not just part of you, it is you. It's the lens through which you experience life, the fuel that powers your choices, the presence that speaks before you say a word. Protect it relentlessly, guard it with intention, and use it to build the life you've been wanting to live. If you followed me through this journey and you know these principles matter, stay connected. Because this is only the beginning of what you can do when your energy belongs entirely to you. Subscribe now, and let's keep building the version of you that no one and nothing can shake.